All right.
And boom, boom, boom.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, guys.
Super happy to have you today for this live webinar. I'm happy to meet you. I'm with Mike. He's head of customer experience at Waalaxy,
Hi.
and I'm G. I'm the head of product and co-founder of Waalaxy. Today, we'll run through a short demo of the tool using a special use case and giving you all the tips and best practices in order to maximize your results. We'll basically run through the demo, and along the way, we'll give you all the tips and best practices of how to maximize your results and your sales prospecting. You'll have the opportunity to ask any questions you might have via the chat. We have our support team in the back end that will answer any questions you might have. Also, don't worry, everything is recorded. You'll get the replay sent to you directly at the end, so no worries. If there's something you miss or if you need to go, there is no problem. And at the end of the webinar, we will also have a few words on our very special events, the Black Friday happening on Friday in about a week.
10 days?
Right, 10 days. So stay tuned for the end of the webinar. And again, if you have any questions, feel free to ask them.
Okay, great. So let's check a bit what we're going to talk about today. So we've prepared a use case for you. Here you will be able to meet Will. So Will is currently the owner of a personal branding agency. He's targeting C-level in mostly software and tech companies, mostly mid-size as well, to help them to create content and be seen on LinkedIn. So Will value proposition basically is you will be able to reach 10K subscribers in 10 months in less than 10 minutes a day. So what we're going to see here is how to optimize Will profile, and so your profile in the end. What kind of campaign Will should run to be able to be successful, what kind of messages he'll be able to send with Waalaxy, and all the tips we have to write an effective prospecting message. And we'll also see how can Will find his prospects. So the first word is about the profile. So what we recommend here is to have, first of all, a nice profile picture. So nice is relative, of course, but the thing is you need to have contrast between your face and the background. You also need to have, at least smile. Always good for people to see someone smiling. And try not to have your face all over the picture, okay? Try to give some space. Something like Will, basically. Your profile is the first touch that the prospects that you will reach will have with you, meaning that they'll see your profile picture, they'll see your name, they'll see your headline, so which is this part on LinkedIn. And if they go on your profile, they also see your summary and your banner. So let's talk just a bit about the banner. Banner and headline should convey a really direct message to your prospect, which is what are you trying to solve with your product or service? Don't just add something like CEO of blah, blah, blah company or financial director of blah, 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 or sales at my company. Okay, we need to really understand by a glance at your profile exactly what you are offering. And by offering, it's not I sell X service, it's I help you to do something or I change your life by blah, blah, blah. It's really like to be able to enter the value proposition right from your profile. So always good to include exactly what you do here and who you are targeting, because when people are into a profile, if they are in the right target group, they see, okay, he can help me. Banner, same thing. Always try to add a call to action. So on LinkedIn, you can add custom buttons. We didn't do it there, but you can do it right there. So if you want them to go, let's say, on your website or stuff like that. And summary, same thing, which is the about section. And you can also enter a brief summary of what you do or the kind of services you're offering. Or if you have some social proof, which are, let's say, people you've helped, what kind of results we can expect, and so on and so on. So that's for the how to optimize your profile.
And
next step,
no. Next step, once your profile is fully optimized, and it's crystal clear what is your value proposition and the product and services you offer, you need to spend a bit of time to think about who you're going to target. And we never insist enough on that point.
Oh, no.
It's called segmentation. So the you that because Waalaxy, so just to take a step back, Waalaxy allows you to contact people on LinkedIn and via email, but the very first step is to find your prospects on LinkedIn.
The right people.
And so exactly the right people. And it's super important to contact the right people, because if you send great messages, but to someone who is not interested with your product or your service, to someone that has no pain you're solving or no pain at all, you will have no results. So before jumping into looking for prospects, importing prospects, and starting campaigns, you need to take a step back and really think deeply about what am I selling? What is the pain that I solve? And you must solve a pain. If you don't solve a pain, then you have no value proposition. You have no way to distinguish yourselves from other vendors on the platform. And as we'll see, there are many. So you need to be you need to stand out. So for that, you need to be crystal clear about who you want to target. Okay. And so once it's clear who you want to target, the next step is to use the Sales Navigator. Of course, Waalaxy works with any type of LinkedIn subscription, including the free one. But here we'll talk about the Sales Navigator subscription, so the Sales Navigator. Why? Because the Sales Navigator is basically an improved LinkedIn search. It's nothing more than that. It's access to lots of different filters, and the more filters you have, the more precise you will be for segmenting your list, and that's super important. So in our case, we are going to look at C-level. So we want to find C-level. So not exactly CEOs, because we know CEOs are, they are bombarded with messages on LinkedIn. Everyone wants to talk to them. And truth is, in most companies, as odd as it might sound, CEOs are not always the person who actually decides, and not exactly the person who actually feels the pain that you might solve. So in our case, Will is going to reach out to C-level. So by C-level, women, for example, CMOs, CTOs, CFOs, CEOs,
CEOs,
you name it. So here you're going to use the job title filter. That's, I think, is the most important filter of all, because the job title filter is basically the one who will determine who is your prospect. Your prospect is a sales developer. He's a marketing agent. He's a CEO.
Yeah, it's like, what is their function really, and then we can go on in which kind of company, but like
exactly. So that's, I think, is the most important filter. And then once you have that, and for example, let's say we want to look for CMOs. So you just look for CMOs, and then you will see that you have loads of results. So here we have, can I just have a look at the results?
Oh yeah.
It's
Sorry, right there, hidden by the little preview.
So we have 120K plus results. That's a lot of CMOs, and that's a lot of prospects. So one thing you need to know is that regardless of the number of results you will have, you will only have access to the first 2,500 prospects with the Sales Navigator. Why? Simply because the Sales Navigator never gives you access to more than 100 pages, and you have 25 results per page. So 25 times 100, 2,500. So what this means is, if you have more than 2,500 results, you need to add more filters to be able to to have less prospects and be sure that you can extract all of the search. So in our case, I don't know, let's maybe play with the zone, like the geography area. Maybe you want to target a specific zone, specific country, a specific, I don't know, region.
Yeah.
I don't know, let's say you want to target CMOs in New York, for example.
Okay, New York. Whoa, it's a lot of New York, New York, New York, New York. I'm going to go with this one. But that's also a thing with LinkedIn, which is when you've created your profile and when you've entered your location, if you type the name of a city, you may have several options to say, okay, I'm exactly in New York, I'm in New York, but greater area or something like that. So when you try to target someone based on their city, make sure that you select all the occurrences of the city which appears in LinkedIn. So in our case, we also have another New York, which is this one.
And now you see we have lowered our results by quite a lot because we have three
Yeah.
point care results. That's pretty cool. It's still 100. It's still 1,000 more than we might be able to import into Waalaxy. So we're going to add a filter of I think the industry filter might suit well.
Oh,
We're looking
yeah.
for, in our case, people that are aware of anything digital. So maybe, someone working in digital services.
Okay. Digital, yeah, okay. Digital access or services. Yeah, we could include this one, but I think we
Mm,
also can go especially on software, software development.
yeah, software development is great.
Yeah, computer, I mean, stuff, yeah, technology information that might be interesting as well. Here, it's always, I mean, prospecting is a game of iterations. You always have to try and see what works exactly. And maybe sometimes people are presenting themselves with a specific industry, and you may find that this one is attractive, but this one, even if the name is great, yeah, not many people use that one. So always try and see what comes out, and then you can adjust.
Exactly, exactly. And you'll see in our case, we are actually quite lucky because we are targeting people. I mean, we want to target people that tend to post on LinkedIn somehow because we want to help them with their visibility, especially on LinkedIn. And so there's a very specific filter on the Sales Navigator that allows you to look for prospects and people that have posted on LinkedIn in the last 90 days, sorry. So I think in our case, this is the filter that is the most interesting. And I'm sure if we add it, it will again lower the search results. So here we have only 100,
Yeah, quite a
and
narrow search.
yeah, it's quite narrow now. So again, as Mike just told you, you will look and you will always iterate on the searches that you perform. And in our case, okay, it's less than 200. Remember, you can import up to 2,500. So maybe you want to withdraw one filter
Yeah,
that is too restrictive. Maybe it will be people
yeah.
that are based in New York or maybe that are in certain industry.
You always need to think, does that filter make sense with my strategy? Like in our case, is like a city filter really interesting? Like people who actually live in New York, or like do CMOs like in really big companies want to really build a personal brand on LinkedIn? Maybe CEO from mid-sized companies, as Will is trying to target. So in that case, we can come back, remove the filter geography, and then we can go into um, company here headcount, and we can add especially mid-sized companies. So we said 11 to
11 to
200.
200.
Yeah, that's it. And you can see you also have the preview of the number of results that will be added to your search. And that's the first step of a search.
That's perfect. So now you see we have 2,500 prospects. So we're going to be able to import that search. Maybe before we want to have a quick look at the prospects that are
Yeah,
displayed here.
always do so. Because sometimes you have prospects who might have been CMOs, or especially if you're using some keywords. Let's say, for example, I don't know how many C blah blah I have. I may also want to target, let's say, directors. So if I want to target directors, I could add the keyword director. But in that case, you see, it's not a really, like really a LinkedIn job title. Okay, it's not shaped as a LinkedIn job title. which means that in that case, I may have directors such as channel sales director that I don't want to include in my search. Okay, no problem. Or managing IT director, or yeah, stuff like that. So in that case, what I could do is let's for example add a keyword that I don't want. I include it, and then I'm going to exclude the keyword. And right now, the previous results, which was channel sales director, yeah, I don't remember exactly, but right now, yeah,
And
that is
in
it.
our case, we can again exclude director,
Yeah, do whatever we want.
and then we are back with our 2500 result.
Original people, yeah.
Yeah, so once we've done that, you can actually import that search into Waalaxy. So it's pretty simple. You will use the small icon at the top right of your browser right here. And here you will see,
Don't forget to pin it, extension, and here small pin, you always pin it and up, it's always there with you.
absolutely. And there you'll have the possibility to create lists, but also access the different lists that you have previously created. And of course, select the number of prospects you want to import. Here we are on a team, meaning we have many people in our Waalaxy account. So what this means is that we are able to use one Sales Navigator subscription for the whole team.
Yeah.
And that's quite a key feature of Waalaxy, I would say, because usually we have a sales team that comes and say, oh, we have 25 sales on our team. They all have a Sales Navigator subscription. It's quite costly for us. And we love to talk to those people because we know instantly that they will basically have Waalaxy for free.
Save a lot of money right now.
So it's always nice. And again, for those of you who don't necessarily have the money to buy a Sales Navigator subscription, there's also a small trick that might be interesting for you, where you will actually leverage the fact that Sales Navigator offers you a month for free. You will need to enter your credit card details, but even if you cancel the subscription right away, meaning you have paid nothing and you will pay nothing, you will still have access to the Sales Navigator for 30 days. And then what this means is that you will be able to use those 30 days to make all of your imports into Waalaxy, and then you will be able to prospect for like months, ages, basically. So that's quite a nice tip.
The thing also with Sales Navigator's accounts, especially if you have a team, is that you may not want to like brief everyone on how to perform a good Sales Navigator search. You might want to have one person who is really like specialized in finding the right filters combination to really extract the best personas that you can have, the best prospect segments that you can have, and import them all into each sales account instead of having to brief everyone, and everyone can make mistake. Hey, we have overlaps, maybe use some a bit of weird filters, not really like performance filters. So in that case, you may also want to have one person really specialized creating all the searches and adding them, all the results, I mean, in all the members' accounts.
So now we're able to import the prospects into Waalaxy, and once the import is finished, you will find those prospects directly into Prospect tab on Waalaxy right here.
Here, Prospect tab, and we have directors.
So here you have access to all of your previous prospects that you might have imported, and yeah, it's also a way for you to see in a nutshell every prospect you have. You will have access to some filters that allow you to filter prospects that are present on Waalaxy. And from there, you will be able to launch campaign. So what is a campaign? A campaign is basically a set of actions, a series of actions. So it might be LinkedIn actions, it might be emails, but it might also be LinkedIn actions and emails. And that's what we call multi-channel prospecting. In our case, we're going to use first a very simple sequence.
Yeah.
We're going to use invitation plus 3 messages. Why? We're usually asked what is the best sequence, what can I do, what is the most optimized, etc. And the truth is, The best sequences are the one that are the simplest. So if you want to do super complicated things with like 7 touch points, for example, that's too much. And so there's really a sweet spot between not following up with your prospects enough, meaning just sending an invite or maybe an invite and a message,
Yeah, and that's it.
and not following up. So that's you need to follow up with your prospects. And on the other hand, if you send like six or seven messages to your prospects, that's too much and it's just pure spam. So
Yeah.
the sweet spot for us is between 2 to 4 touch points, and yeah, in our case, it's going to be three
Yeah,
touch
three.
points. So once you've selected the sequence that you want to use, first step, very simple, name your campaign. It's actually optional because we uh, give a default name when you launch the sequence. The next step is going to be the invitation step. So the invitation step is the step where you're going to send an invitation to your prospects. Because as you know, on LinkedIn, to be able to send a message, you need to be connected to the person. So the first step is invitation. With the invitation, you have the possibility to add a note, but that's a premium feature on
Yeah.
LinkedIn sites since a few months now already. So what we recommend is if you have a paying subscription on LinkedIn, then please use the notes. Why? Because we have the overall acceptance rates varies between 30% and 50%. And that means that between, if you don't add a note, between 50% and 70% of your prospects will never actually get to know your value proposition. So that's quite a shame. And that's why we recommend the use of it if you're using LinkedIn Premium.
Yeah. What we talked earlier about the profile on which is the first touch point that your prospects will have with you. The note is kind of the second one in a way, because if you send your invitation without a note, they only have those details to really understand why you want to connect with them. So they need to interpret what you're trying to do. If you add a note because you have a LinkedIn Premium account or a Sales Navigator account or recruit your lead account. I mean, depends on what you are doing. You have the possibility to basically add more details on what you do. And when they receive the invitation, so they connect, they'll have your words. And those words are actually quite important.
That's it. And so in our case, we're not going to use a note, simply skip this part. Then you have the delay. So what this means is you have the possibility to choose the time that will happen between the acceptance of the invitation and the sending of the message. In our case, it's set up on 1 day. That's great. So let's stay and stick with that. Here you're on the message step. So we also get asked quite a lot, what's the best message?
Yeah.
Do you have templates? And it's always kind of the same answer to that because, by definition, if you use a pre-existing template that happens to be somewhere on the internet, then this means that lots of people and lots of other people
Are using it as
are
well.
using it as well. Exactly. So this is this means basically that you're sending a message that your prospect has already received several times. So not the best way to contact your prospects.
Definitely.
So there's a few rules to have in mind when writing your message. I think the very first rule is that you need to write a message that is short. And that's super hard because you want to say a lot of things. Of course, you're a great company. You have many things to offer,
Yeah,
and
your
you're
product is amazing.
you're super adaptable. So
You need to reach out. Yeah.
you want to tell everything to your prospects, but you need to refrain yourselves from doing it. Um, it's super important. I always say the first step and the first step is to be read, is for your message to be read. And what I mean by that is not, oh, he read my message, like he opened my message
Yeah.
on the tech side, he actually clicked
Like
on
it
the
popped up
message
and you're like,
and
yeah,
the
yeah.
message is read by LinkedIn, but I mean, on the sense that he's not in your unread inbox. But your prospects never actually read your message. So the very first step is for your prospects to read your message. And how you do that? You do that by having a short message. If you look at a small message like 2 lines, 3 lines maximum that has lots of space between the different paragraphs, then your brain won't help but read the message and get the message from that text, which is not the case if you send a very big message. So yeah, that's why it's super important to stay with, we say between 300 and 500 characters, but the truth is the less characters, the better.
The better, yeah.
And the second very important thing to have in mind is actually the format. So I think it's the best way to write a message is to respect the following pattern. The first step is what we call the hook. So the hook is actually the most important part of all of your message, I think, um, because that's what your prospects will see first.
Yeah.
And so the hook is really it's supposed to state the pain that you solve. Okay, the pain, the problem that you solve. It's one sentence maximum. I personally like to phrase it as a question, but it's not mandatory. It's my personal style, and I find it works quite well, but that's not 100% mandatory. Then the second step is the solution. So it's you explaining to your prospects why you are the best company to work with and why you're the best company, you're the best company to help your prospects solve the pain that you've just stated. And again, here it's maximum 1 sentence, 2 sentences maximum. You don't want to stay to list the 10 reasons why you're the best company to
all
work
the
with.
benefits and stuff. No.
Exactly, just 1 or 2 reasons maximum. And then the last step, what we call the call to action, is a phone number, a Calendly link, anything that your prospects will be able to use if he or she wants to go further. It might just be reply to this message if you're interested. It's really up to you. A landing page. But it's really important to have one call to action for your prospects to know if he or she is interested. Okay, what are the next steps?
Really depends on what is your sales workflow in the end. As G said, do they have to go on the landing page and fill in a form because you want to filter some or to sort all the prospects that want to reach out to you, or do like your target is not really like familiar with like calls? Do they prefer to extend by email? Really depends on your targets. So you need just to choose what's the best for them. And like a meeting link, booking link, yeah, not always the best choice. Easier for you, but maybe not that easier for your prospects.
So that's the format that we recommend. The best practice for writing a proper message. Then we also have an AI assistant that we call the WAMI that might help you write a proper message if you're not feeling inspired and you need a bit of help to kickstart your message. That's also a great way to write a message. So basically, we'll answer 4 very rapid, very short questions, and then based on that, we will be able to provide you with a sales prospecting message that answers the best practices in terms of writing a proper message. You will be able to regenerate it or edit it if you're not super happy with the results.
Make it fit your style,
In our case, for example, let's say we are targeting CMOs.
And something interesting here is that the questions that are in a WAMI's form are actually all the things that we've talked about when here explaining what is the value proposition they have. So let's say, for example, here he's helping C-level, so which means that my target is actually C-levels in mid-size companies. Value proposition is boom. Let's just quit this one. is to skyrocket their career through personal branding. And the differentiating factor would be this is the results that I offer. I'm fast, it's easy for you, and which is something that maybe a competitor is not able to do, or at least is not saying, and that's really important. Call to action?
Call to action, Calendly link, for example.
Okay. And you can have a first try using yeah, I mean, just a quick message under 500 character, um, Calendly link, start with a question, help C executives. Okay, yeah, we're good to go. We could tweak it a bit just to make it maybe a bit funnier if you want, if that's your style, if that's your tone. And you can, yeah, try to add it. We also have the preview. You want to see what it looks like. So here, of course, bit of space. And that's it. We've also created one, especially for this webinar right there, which is this one. So kind of the same structure in the end, okay, less than 500 character. In our case, what we want to do here, and that Wami is not aware of, is that we are trying to reach out to people who actually posted on LinkedIn because we want to help them post more. So always great, this little detail to add it in your hook. I saw your post on LinkedIn. That's why I'm reaching out. And sometimes it's as easy as that. Just why are you really trying to reach out to that specific person? Just say it. I use the filter posted on LinkedIn on Sales Navigator, and I'm telling you, yeah, I saw your post on LinkedIn. No issue there. And then I continue with the question. Next step,
Next step.
second message. So between two messages, you can also customize the delay that you can have. So also you can say 3 days, 2 days, yeah, up to you. So we are now in the following message part. So when you send the following message part, I mean when Waalaxy actually sends it, it means that the prospect, one, accepted your invitation, and two, received the first message but did not reply to that message. Otherwise, if a prospect replied to one of your message, we automatically detect it and we just exit them from the campaign saying, okay, has replied. And you can check them all in your filters with the specific filter has replied if at some point you want to do something else with those people. So in that case, we're still trying to convince the prospects that talking with us is actually a great thing to do. So there are several rules. Again, try to keep it as short as you can. Try to use another benefit that could really be something that you could have added actually to the first message. But as G said, always try to keep it short. So always not all the benefits, just the first and most important one. Then you may add the second. You might also want to add social proof. Yes, because actually, when Will is trying to contact people, no one has heard of him. So you need to establish that you're an expert in your field, that you actually have results with the people you are providing the product or service to. In that case, let's do the other one. So yeah, social proof. Okay, you can say that you've worked with specific people and you can also showcase all the results here. You could include the first name variable, which is something we always advise to. In that case, we didn't do it. Always trying to get some new data, always trying to try stuff out. Um, and especially here, which is quite interesting, it's good to really add details on what does it cost your prospect to have more details. So let's say in that case, we've decided to go for the Calendly link. Okay, how long? How long will it take me to have more details to know if working together might be something interesting? In that case, easy. We've added the worst case, you lose 25 minutes. Best case, you make the best decision of your career. That's it. Could be a bit, let's say, yeah, less funnier or with something a bit, yeah, less as shiny as we're doing it right now. But the thing is, always try to add numbers. And that's something we didn't talk about in the first message, but numbers are quite clear for the brain. So if you have specific data you want to share, that's the place to go. But let's say now even after that message, no reply. Okay. We said 3 messages. Okay. Right now is kind of the last one. So it's your last chance to actually get a reply for your prospect. So let's remember, we've filtered a lot of people out on Sales Navigator. So what we have left should be the most important people that we're trying to connect. And also, half of them, maybe more, did not accept my invitation. So right now, I really need to get an answer. I need them to actually read my message. And they can say, yeah, or they can say no, but I really need to make sure that they read it. So last message, again, the delay between the second follow-up and the third one. And right now, it's kind of the last chance. So last chance means that you want to be provocative. You don't want any kind of reasoning behind that. You don't want like to add benefits of your solution. No, no, you want to create emotion. You want to have them shocked or surprised. You want to actually them to read your message and say at the end, okay, should I continue to reach out? Is it just like not the right time? Or did you just miss all of my message? So our strategy is always, I mean, that's one of our templates that we use. One of the best we've used in terms of data was just a question mark. But most of the case seems a bit too provocative, but like you can see when you're sending a message on WhatsApp to someone, did not reply after an hour, big question mark, and oh yeah, sorry. When you're doing prospecting, could also be doing that. But quick example, which includes actually a call to action and some funny thing. So the framework is quite easy. I did not receive an answer from you. Could be because of one of three things. The first one is you are already satisfied with your current solution, or kind of the pain is not enough for you right now to solve it, which is marketing is up. You already have an amazing personal brand. You are already using a service that fits you. You are already using a product. So in that case, all good. Okay, targeting's off. Great. The second one is actually the most interesting one, which is, okay, you just did not have time to reply. So might be the time to do so. And you always open the door. Okay, still have a calendar link. Can just check it out. And last one, what we love is always to be provocative, kind of in our DNA. A joke could be, I'm really bad at selling. Could you tell me? In our case, it's just like, okay, 10 minutes a day is way too much for you. In that case, you might have an organizational problem, as do I. But like, yeah, we can make fun of the prospects as we can make fun of us. Always, what you need to understand there is you want to get a reaction from the prospects. Could also, if you want to, add some GIFs, which are totally possible. We've done one here, which is waiting for a response.
Absolutely. Remember here, it might be a bit surprising that we're telling you to do such a thing. You might feel not super comfortable doing it. But remember one thing, for this message, you want to get a clear yes or a clear no.
Yeah.
And what you want to optimize is not reducing the number of prospects that will reply negatively, but you want to, which will be the case if you just send messages that are super polite, like every other message that you get on LinkedIn. Yes, you probably won't get any prospects that reply by being angry whatsoever. But then you will also have no prospects that reply saying they're interested. So what you want to optimize is the number of prospects that will be interested with your product or your service. And for that, you need to go that way.
Yeah, at the end of the day, you can have only 1 out of 3 responses, which is a clear yes, as you said, a clear no, all good, but also yes, but not now. And this one is actually quite interesting. When you launch your campaign, so I'm going just to launch it. Boom. Let's go. Yeah, my campaign is launched. Maybe you want to go a quick over analytics?
Yeah, yeah. That's basically where you will. So in our case, we've just launched our campaign, so obviously we have no data yet. What will happen is all of the actions, in our case, invitation, will be You will find them in the queue where you will see all the next actions that will be performed. Remember, Waalaxy allows you to automate, but we are only automating a human behavior. So the goal here is to kind of replicate the human behavior. We don't want to send 100 invitations in like, boom, 1 second. So there will be a delay between the sending of every actions. And then after a few days, you will see the results in your campaign where you will be able to track your acceptance rate, your reply rate, and you'll also see where your prospects are in terms of stages. Are they going to receive the first message, the second message? Are they waiting for you to waiting for accept the invitation? So here on the left, you will see every details of where your prospects are currently. Yeah, I think that's it for the analytics side.
Yep.
But as Mike just said, there's a third way for your prospects to be interested, but not now. And that's where it's quite cool to, I think, use the inbox feature.
Yeah.
We have here the inbox, which is basically the LinkedIn messaging on Waalaxy. So you will see all of your messages. You will be able to answer them, see them, filter them, everything you can do on the LinkedIn messaging. But you will also have additional features like the possibility to tag your prospects. You will also have the details on the right-hand side of the campaigns through which they went, a few details. But I think in our case, what's interesting is the possibility to send a message at a later date. So that's basically when your prospects say, oh, yes, I'm interested, but now is not the right time. Could you please come back to me in like a quarter or a few days or whatever? And then you can go on the send later right here. And there you will be able to write your message using the variables that you have access to in the messages. And you will be able to set a date and a time in the future where your message will be sent. And so you don't have to, have notes and post-it and reminder, and you just forget that. You write your message right now, you're confident it will be sent exactly when the prospect wants it to have it. So no more worries with the follow-up.
Yeah.
I think that's super convenient. One also interesting feature of the inbox is the possibility to have pre-existing templates. So here the use case is usually, your prospects tend to ask for the same information. They have the same questions that comes again and again. So usually people have a Word or a Google Sheet, and they have a reply, and they just copy paste every time. But it's quite boring because you have to change the first name every time. And in our case, here you can have pre-existing templates where you will also be able to use the first name variables, last name variables, job company name, sorry. And you will have a quick access to those templates to facilitate the handling of your messages. We also included those features directly into the LinkedIn messaging. So it's even more convenient for you if you're used to use the LinkedIn messaging. So here you have access to the templates. And if you write a message, you will be able to send it at a later date. So let's say here, you want to write a message.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, my bad. Okay.
You just have to write a message.
Oh, yeah, sorry. No, you want to schedule a message.
No worries, yeah.
Yeah, my bad.
And then you see the templates here changes into send later, and you can send your message at a later date, exactly as you would be able to do via the inbox.
And you can use a template and send it later. Yeah, you can combine both worlds.
Yeah, now I think that's basically the basic feature of Waalaxy.
Definitely.
And now we have a few more features that might be of interest. What do you want to present?
Oh, we have CRM and emails especially. I'll go for emails first.
Okay.
Okay, let's go for that. As we explained earlier, some of your prospects will not reply at all, even like after a real provocative message. And some of them will also not accept your invitation, which means that at some point in Waalaxy, you will have people who are connected with you, to whom you've sent messages, but do not get any reply. And you also have people who are pending with you, so waiting for them to accept the invitation. And so you can't really like reach out to them on LinkedIn. And that's where the email feature, which is part for businessmen, actually comes handy. The thing is, we have some specific campaigns that G spoke about earlier, which can combine invitation, messages, let's say two in that case, and email as well. Let's say I want to send two emails as well. And right now, I have a bit more complex campaign in that case. Let's say Star Trek 2.0, which allows me to send an invitation first. If the prospect accepts the invitation, I can send two messages. If the prospect didn't
Maybe we can
accept,
zoom for
oh yeah,
just a bit.
boom, bit much. Okay, great. If the prospect did not accept, though they're still pending, we're going to try to see if we have an email using the email finder feature, which in this campaign is absolutely automatic. And we can send two emails. Also have other campaigns, could be, let's for example, yeah, I'll add just one. If you want to also have campaigns that allows you also, after two messages without a reply, same system, you try to find the email and you send an email. The goal here is really to try to maximize the number of people you can actually reach out to, even if at some point on LinkedIn you did not manage to get a reply from them. So that's the email feature. You can customize it actually quite easily. All emails will go out from your own email account. So no like my name.waalaxy blah blah blah. No, always on your own account, and you are able to track the deliverability of your emails. And also, we can provide some professional emails using the email finder feature.
The email finder feature, exactly. A few words on the email finder feature.
Yeah.
How does it work? It's super simple. We actually use a tool called Drop Contact that allows us, to retrieve the professional email of the prospects based on first name, last name, company name, and also the country. And today we are at roughly 40% of success, meaning 40% of the time we are able to retrieve the email. This varies though quite a lot depending on who you're targeting. Because as we are based on the company domain, if you're targeting, let's say, freelancers or physician, people who generally don't have a website or a professional email linked to their company, then it will be harder. But if you're going for established companies, then this number will go up a bit. And we're currently working on a new version of the email finder feature where instead of using only one data provider, we'll use 20 data providers, meaning if the first data provider didn't manage to find the email, then we'll ask a second one, then a third one, then a fourth one, etc.
Opening doors always.
Until we get the email. And using this technique, we will be able to increase the rate by 50%, meaning we'll go from 40% to 60%. And you will basically have the best rates of the market using this technique, which is about to go live in a few weeks. So we're super excited. Speaking about new features and improvements, we indeed have a synchronization, like CRM synchronization. Today, we only sync with HubSpot natively, meaning if you have another CRM than HubSpot, you will have to use Zapier or other webhook apps. To be fully transparent, that's quite a pain in the ass.
In fact, it's quite easy to take data out of Waalaxy, but like auditory CRM really depends on how you can configure the module on Zapier. So if you need help, you can always ask our support team. We have tutorials for the most mainstream CRM, and in other case, Zapier support is always here to help. But in that case, synchronizing with HubSpot is like so easy, like in 2 clicks, connect app, and we go again.
It's super easy. And we're about to also include other CRMs like the mainstream one,
Yeah,
Pipedrive, Salesforce, or the one that you can see here, and maybe more if our users tell us and you guys tell us that it's super important to have XYZ CRMs.
Yeah.
Today, the CRM synchronization works as follows. You will need to browse sequence and use the filter to find a sequence that have a CRM sync step. Okay. So what this means is when your prospects will be at this step, we will automatically send the information that you will have predefined to your CRM. We also have a feature that allows on every campaign to set up a CRM integration for all prospects who replied.
Yeah.
So,
and it's actually often the use case. Like you want to have in your CRM people who actually reply, so the data is there. In that case, any campaign with a message step, you can just edit the campaign, and the last step there is CRM sync on reply. 1 click, and I can connect to HubSpot, all the other CRMs using the tutorial through Zapier.
and yeah, and speaking of evolution, we are about to refine the system quite a bit and offer you the possibility to sync all of your campaign in 1 click using different triggers, like, of course, prospects who reply, prospects who for which you will get an email, prospects who accept your invite, or any prospects that enter a given campaign. And also, one new feature that will pops into Waalaxy in the next weeks is the possibility to filter with prospects who are interested and prospects who are not interested. And that's quite a bit advancement for us because up until now, you know, the proxy for success was how many prospects actually replied. But you never really know the difference between a prospect who just say oh, I'm not interested, and a prospect who say, oh, yeah, that's super interesting, let's talk, blah, blah, blah. So here you will simply be able to filter with prospects who are interested and also only send prospects who are interested in your CRM, because in the end, you're not really interested with the prospects who replied but that are not really interested.
Yeah, so big changes on the CRM side in terms of how you set it up. So maybe in a few weeks, the CRM sync step that we've showed you in the campaigns might be not useful because, yeah, you'll be able to manage it directly from the settings.
Also, speaking about new features, we're about to release the team dashboard feature. You see, now when you go on the team side, it's quite poor. Yes, you can go to every other member's app, and by doing this, you will get access to their statistics. You will also have the possibility to see their campaigns, see their prospects, launch everything and handle everything from a single interface. But you don't yet have a common dashboard where you will see the statistics and performance of all of the members of your team. And that's coming in the next week. So team dashboard. Last but not least, we are also working on a improvement with the WAMI assistant. Remember our AI assistant, where we will be able to actually ultra personalize the message for every prospect. Because today, yes, the message that you send might be great, but in the end, this will be the same message to every prospect. Of course, aside the first name, last name, and company name variables.
But if you include them,
if you include them, but if we're honest now, you know, you won't really trick anyone by doing this. Like it's commonly known that it's
Yeah.
automated.
Common practice.
And in our case, we will be able to tailor and offer a very unique message
Yeah.
in the end based on your value proposition, actually who you are and who your prospect is, based on information that we will extract from his or her profile. And the results are quite astonishing. To be honest, it's almost, I mean, it's actually impossible to tell that this message has been written by AI, and it just feels like the person personally reach out to
Yeah.
you, and I think this is going to be amazing. So we are
Exactly. Yeah.
quite exciting to launch this feature.
Yeah. But why are we here exactly doing this webinar? Yeah.
Not you're too fast. You're
So
still
far.
no. We're here to talk about the Black Friday event.
Yeah,
Black
Black
Friday
Friday
event
events, of
coming
course.
in about 10 days on Friday the 29th.
Yeah.
So stay tuned because on this day, for 24 hours only,
Only.
you will get 50% off of all subscription yearly, meaning that you will actually pay 3 months and you will
Yeah.
get 12 months. That is our biggest event of the year.
Yeah.
This happens only once a year. It's only for 24 hours. So
So it's the advanced plan on a yearly plan, half the price of what it is normally. Same thing for business. And if you have a team, you'll also be able to add new seats to that team for half the price. So yeah.
yeah, maybe a few Q&A. I don't know. There
Yeah.
might be some questions. Okay. So let's see what we have
Let's see.
here.
Our assistant.
Our assistants. So
First question.
someone asked, but what if we already had a subscribed account in the past and don't have now? Would we still be able to get a 30-day free account for the Sales Navigator? That's a good question. No, this only works one time. But the thing is that there will probably be someone in your team that have not yet activated this free trial account. So you might ask him or her if she can, for example, take the free trial,
Yeah.
so that you will be able to
Then you
take
go,
advantage of it.
you go in the same team, and then from their account, you can import to your account.
Um,
And that's also a good thing, which is when you have your free trial on Sales Navigator, make sure to import as many prospects as you can in all your team members' account.
That's it. Another question is, so 1 month for free for the sales nav, will I be able to send the invitation via Waalaxy? Yes, of course. Again,
Yeah.
even though the profile are extracted from the sales navigator, in the end, they are LinkedIn profile, meaning we are going to invite them via Waalaxy on LinkedIn. There's no difference.
Yeah.
And maybe one last question. How to evaluate the performance of my
Oh,
campaign?
yeah.
Um, it's actually quite hard to answer that question.
It really depends on what you are trying to do with Waalaxy. If you are trying to like find new talent, so hiring people, you may have really high reply rates. So if we talk about numbers, it's always a bit hard to say like, okay, yeah, 30 is good or 25 is good. We have a small indicator directly in the Waalaxy app to help you visualize that. But again, depends a lot on the prospects that you're trying to reach out and what you are trying to do with them. We also say, I mean, G said that when you do the invitation step, acceptance, you might lose half of your prospect there. So we can say that a good acceptance rate should be around, 40 to 50%, and more is always good. And reply rate, as we indicated in the campaign itself, above 25% is good. But again, some special cases, you're a hiring manager, working in HR, you might go over 60, 70, 80% of reply rate because you're basically offering something. And that's a cue here as well. If you offer something to people, they tend to reply.
There are a few questions, especially on the Black Friday event.
Okay.
And to clarify, if you benefited, yes, if you
Yeah.
had access to the deal last year,
Yeah, change the
you will
word.
still have access to the deal this year, no problem. So, meaning if you took a subscription last year during the Black Friday,
Yeah.
your subscription will renew
At the
with the
same
Black
price as the
Friday
price.
prices. So,
You-
no worries
yeah.
at all.
You're basically locking the price for next year.
Exactly.
So
You're looking the price, and that's of course also true for the subscription that you will take this year.
yeah.
So let's say, for example, last year you took three licenses for a team on the Black Friday, then you will renew on those three licenses. But now you want to add another two licenses, you will be
Yeah.
able to again add two licenses with the same price, no problem. And how does it work? It's super easy. There's no code to enter or
No.
coupon whatsoever. It's just you go to the pricing page, upgrade page directly on Waalaxy. You take your subscription, and voila,
Yeah. That's it.
that's about it. Easy. I think we're good now.
Yeah, good to go.
Thank you, everyone.
Any other questions? The chat on Waalaxy, it's on the right. Yeah, right side corner. Yeah, that's it, on the bottom. They always be happy to answer in less than 10 minutes and to reply to all your questions. Whereas those are kind of feature questions, questions about the app, but also how you can use the app properly. So if you need any tips or advices, they'll be able to redirect you to the blog, for example.
Thank you all. Bye bye.
Bye, guys.